in marine bio at Waikato Uni, and then a postgraduate diploma in oceanography, and I was to do my master's thesis on the Whagamata harbour.
Did you choose to do that, or was that given to you? You go out and do that?
A bit of both. You choose, and I thought, oh yeah, that looks... Yeah.
What does being an oceanographer mean? You study what? Tides and...
Yep, ocean processes, so waves, tides, currents, and all that.
And how it affects what? The land, sand, and all that sort of thing. Okay.
All that.
So you're a fairly clued up man as to talk about what's going on around the Whagamata harbour.
Yeah, I know a little
development. Yeah. Okay. So now I understand that the Marina Society did actually use some of your thesis work in their applications.
Yeah. In 2001, we started my field study. We deployed a whole lot of instruments in the harbour and did a hydrographic survey, but the hydrographic survey didn't get finished. It was only half done, and so they've taken that and then patched it up with a couple of run lines in 2007, and a lot has changed in the harbour since then, with sand build-up and stuff on the ebb and the flood.
It doesn't matter what day you do it on, though, does it? Because the following day it's going to be different.
Yeah, exactly. It is only a snapshot in time.
Yeah. So what you're doing is, are you taking a variety of snapshots so you get like a high and a low version of results?
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. And then what? Do you average that and say, that's the average for the Whagamata harbour?
Well, you can throw it all into a computer numerical model, and then that will run through different case scenarios of different weather situations.
Does the survey take into account things like runoff from hills, from forestry and farming and all that sort of stuff that's going into the harbour as well?
We did have a couple of kind of water meters at certain streams, one at the Waikiki stream and then one up the Moana estuary, just taking, and then we have a weather station. This is for my field data anyway, counting rainfall. So theoretically you can do a catchment model to determine those inputs
that are coming into the harbour as well.
Yeah, it's quite detailed. I don't think that was done.
Yeah,
but it can be done.
Okay. So tell us, you went along to the meeting and you spoke and you actually informed the community board that your results were used. I couldn't quite figure out what the point was that you were trying to make. So explain to me and the listeners what you were trying to let the community board know regarding, they were talking obviously about the lease or the sale of a particular piece of land, but you had something to do with the change of the plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically in February just this year, they've changed part of their channel plan. We've taken the rock wall out. And
now that rock wall was reasonably substantial, wasn't it? It's quite long.
Yeah, it runs from basically the causeway where the marina is to the main channel.
Yeah.
So it's
and are they like taking the whole thing out or just a piece of it? Or
taking from what it's hard to see in the plans. They're quite difficult to read, but it looks like it's taken right back towards the marina. So I don't know how far you'd call it. Maybe it comes 100 metres or so out past the marina.
Yeah.
But then, yes, kind of stops where the boat ramp is and doesn't go all the way through.
Okay.
Stops where the ski lane is, actually. That's what it is. Yeah.
All right. So they're now looking at taking that out and using what in its place? This is to create the channel or hold the channel?
Well, they're there to hold the channel there, stop it infilling.
Yeah.
So, what they're doing is they're taking it out to try and satisfy the small boat users that there will still be the ski lane and boat ramp access during construction.
So there was a positive reason why they were planning it.
Yeah.
Some may say, of course, that there's obviously cost saving as well, not having to build a rather large stone wall as well.
Yeah.
At the meeting, and Mick Kelly's actually coming in to have a chat to us as well, so he'll probably be able to clarify this. But he said that I remember him getting up and answering a question on this. It was regarding the stone wall and the developers of other similar, the Tonkin and Taylor man, is it, or the engineers who have done these things in other places, and they've actually said, well, the stone wall isn't required. But in your opinion, the stone wall is required?
Well, from their numerical model, you can't determine what the effects are going to be because this is what I said in the community board meeting, that the grid spacings in the numerical model won't take into account the effects of removing the rock wall because it's too coarse. The spacings are too big to determine, because basically a numerical model works from cell-to-cell transfer of currents, etc. It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're starting to lose me now.
Yeah.
But are you saying that the modelling that you're using is different to the modelling that they've used for showing that the wall doesn't need to be built?
Well, they've actually said it when you read the thing, that the model doesn't determine what the effects are going to be. So they're just assuming that they say it will require a bit more maintenance dredging, which it will. It'll require a lot more maintenance dredging because there'll be a lot more infilling because there's no rock walls to hold the channel.
To hold the sand.
So they basically, for me, it's the effects are not known properly yet, still not quantified.
Okay, so what you're asking the community board was to take that on board to do what? More research on it?
More research, more consultation.
To make sure that it's
known before we throw ourselves in the deep end.
Yeah, okay. So, but the likelihood of them doing something and then it filling up, you've got to ask the question, why would they do that? There's no point in building a channel and then having it fill, so you've got to empty it all the time.
Yeah.
So obviously they'll be taking into account that and I would imagine insisting that their engineers have got it right, haven't they?
Well, they still reserve the right to actually put the rock wall in.
Yeah.
So they're saying they're going to take it out, but they reserve the right to put it in. So it still might go through.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah. In your idea, have you studied other channels and marinas around the country?
Yeah, I've looked a little bit at different areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do these rock walls work?
They do their job.
Yeah.
So that is to create a stable channel lining. Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
But obviously not very aesthetically pleasing to the eye or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand actually with the rock wall that they're building, and talking to Peter Kerr, chairperson of the community board, I think there's a very strong possibility that on the other side of the causeway they'll put another access for the jet skiers, the little P-boaters and that type of thing. So
on the other side of the causeway?
On the other side of the causeway in Moana Point there.
Oh, there's not much space in there for wakeboarding or jet skiing, really, is there? It's pretty...
Well, that's obviously the sharing of the resource, isn't it? You've got to, they've got to sit down and figure out what goes where, and it's a bit of chaos out there at the moment, isn't it? With jet skiers, how many jet skiers do you know that follow the rules? Oh, sorry, Brendan. But all of that needs to be sorted out, doesn't it? Because there are others, as Peter mentioned to me yesterday. There are others that want to go across and also collect kai moana from the other side of the. So they've got to have some way of accessing there, and whether they do access it from the other side of causeway or what are the other alternatives? I know there's an opening on this side of the wall. If they build it with a wall, there's an opening on this side of the wall that allows the boats to get into it and get into the channel. Can there not be an opening somewhere else on the wall on the other side, then to allow them to get to the other side of the wall?
Well, I assume that's what the removing of the rock wall is.
But they were looking at removing the whole thing. I was meaning like a gap in it to allow boats to go through.
Well, I suppose you've still got a problem that'd have to be marked and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I suppose there'd be a bit of flow going into it, taking silt and debris and stuff.
Kind of. If it's not a whole wall, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Okay.
Having just a hole on it on that side won't work.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Is there anything else you need to let us know regarding the development? Because obviously we were talking about the leasing of the land, which, as you may have heard, the council have decided that they're going to go ahead and sell the land, which is particularly disappointing to me. Don't care whether it goes, to the marina. I care about the democratic process of the fact that the community has asked for something and the council has run roughshod over them. Because personally, I believe the council's in debt and they're looking for the way of getting the fast buck to get themselves out of a bit of debt. So, but is there anything else that you wanted to add to the debate that's going on?
No,
you come from an educated part of this debate, being an oceanographer.
Yeah, I just trying to put forward, my expertise, and I see other people's side of things where they worry about the consultation and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more people more experienced in that field to talk about that kind of stuff.
Lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of lawyers out there. Alrighty, Carl. Hey, we've been talking with Carl Larson. And what is your technical term? What are you? You're
an oceanographer.
An oceanographer.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, that degree came from and PhD.
No, just a degree.
Degree from
and diploma in University of Waikato.
Waikato University. Thanks very much for making your time available, Carl.
Thank you.